In my previous video, we understood what are sentences and kinds of sentences. Now we are going to read about the kinds of sentences based on the structure of a sentence. Okay, so in previous class, we read what is a clause. Let's recap. Let's recall. A clause is a group of words or part of a sentence that contains a subject and a verb. सेंटेंस का एक ऐसा टुकड़ा जिसके पास एक सब्जेक्ट और एक वर्ब हो. So there are two basic kinds of clauses: independent clause and dependent or subordinate clause. What are independent clause? सेंटेंस का एक ऐसा टुकड़ा, इट कैन स्टैंड बाय इटसेल्फ एज अ कंप्लीट सेंटेंस, जिसको अगर सेंटेंस से अलग भी कर दिया जाए सो उसका एक अपना पूरा मीनिंग निकल के आता है. And what is a dependent or subordinate clause? Although it has a subject and a verb, it cannot stand by itself as a complete sentence. It can only be a part of a sentence. So sentence का एक ऐसा पार्ट जिसको अगर अलग किया जाए तो उसकी कोई अपनी एक मीनिंग निकल के नहीं आती है. So it is dependent upon the whole sentence. And in independent clause, उसको अगर अलग कर दिया जाए सेंटेंस से, क्लॉज को अगर अलग कर दिया जाए सेंटेंस से, तो उसकी एक अलग मीनिंग, अपनी एक अलग मीनिंग निकल के आती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई मिस्ड एवरीबडी एट होम. Independent clause, when I was in the USA. So this sentence consists of one independent clause and one dependent clause. Independent clause is I missed everybody at home. It is giving a complete meaning. Whereas when I was in the USA, अगर इसको अलग किया जाए तो do you get the whole meaning of the sentence? When I was in the USA, you were in the USA, then what? The complete meaning is not coming out of the sentence. So it is a dependent clause. Depending upon the type of clause or clauses, there are 4 types of sentences. Now we are bifurcating them into 4 groups: simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, and compound complex sentence. We're starting from simple sentences. A simple sentence consists of only one independent clause containing a subject and a verb, finite verb, and it shows complete meaning and there is no dependent clause in it. Read the following sentences. Coach Madison supported Lewis and the team. Mala bought a new bag. So it is having one independent clause जिसके पास एक subject है. Likewise, like in Mala bought a new bag. So there's Mala, which is a subject, and bought is the verb, which is a finite verb. Bought a new bag. This new laptop has already crashed twice. This new laptop has already crashed twice. So you notice that there is no dependent clause in these sentences. So it is a simple sentence. All the 3 sentences are simple sentences. Now compound sentences. A compound sentence contains 2 or more independent clause joined by coordinating conjunctions. There is no dependent clause in a compound sentence. So there was no dependent clause in simple sentence and there is no dependent clause in compound sentence as well. So how will you differentiate between a simple sentence and a compound sentence? Compound sentence contains 2 or more independent clauses. In simple sentences, we had only one independent clause in each sentence. But in compound sentence, we have 2 or more independent clauses which are joined by coordinating conjunctions. You know what are conjunctions na? Like but, so, like this. Okay? So, let's take an example. Read the following sentences. Mr. and Mrs. Luthra supported Lalit. One complete independent clause. But Mr. Jaspreet criticized his emotional outburst. Now these 2 are independent clauses in their own and they are being joined by a coordinating conjunction, that is but. Here the conjunction is but. Mr. and Mrs. Luthra supported Lalit. one independent clause, but Mr. Jasprit criticized his emotional outburst. But when these are connected by a coordinating conjunction, they make one compound sentence. Robert doesn't eat meat, so Barbara made a special vegetarian dish for him. Again, a compound sentence. I went to the store, but they were out of cookies, so I bought some sweets. They were out of cookies, so I bought some sweets gives a complete meaning. So it's an independent clause which is joined by the coordinating conjunction but with another independent clause, that is I went to the store. Okay? Now, note, use a semicolon to join two independent clauses that are closely related. You know what is a semicolon, children? So let's see how we have to do that. He studied for his math class for hours. He felt prepared for the midterm the next day. These are very closely related. These sentences are very closely related, these clauses. So they are being connected with a semicolon and not with a conjunction. Juliet loves her little brother. He is generous and kind. Again, the two clauses are very closely related. So they are being combined with a semicolon. Now we go on further to read about complex sentences. A complex sentence consists of one independent clause and at least one dependent clause joined by a subordinating conjunction like because, although, since, when, unless, etc. or relative pronoun that, who, and which. So, what are complex sentences? A complex sentence has one independent clause and at least one dependent clause, and these are joined by subordinating conjunction which are given in the bracket because, although, since, when, unless, etc. and relative pronoun like that, who, and which. Now we will understand this with a few examples. Read the following sentences. You can't pass the test unless you prepare for it. Unless you prepare for it. What are we talking about? We are not getting a complete meaning with this. That means it is a dependent clause. And the independent clauses, you can't pass the test. It is giving a complete meaning. So it's an independent clause. So we have one independent clause and one dependent clause which is connected with a subordinate conjunction, that is unless. Next, I saw the boy who had helped me. It is connected with a relative pronoun, that is who. I saw the boy, independent clause, who had helped me, dependent clause. And the whole is making one complex sentence. I saw the boy who had helped me. Now the C1. The class performed one play which Shakespeare had written because they knew that they could get the first prize. This sentence consists of 4 clauses. First one is, the class performed one play. It is an independent clause which is giving a complete meaning. The second one is, which Shakespeare had written. This is the second clause. Now, because they knew. It is the third clause. And the fourth one is, that they could get the first prize. It is one more clause. So there are 4 clauses. Here it is given that in sentence C there are 4 clauses. Now you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4. First one is an independent clause. Second is adjective clause qualifying the noun play. The third one is adverb clause of reason. There is a reason given, because they knew. So this is a reason clause, adverb clause. Now the fourth one is the noun clause, that they could get the first prize. So we have completed till complex sentences. Now we move forward to compound complex sentence. A compound complex sentence consists of at least two independent clauses and one or more dependent clause. Now, we have two independent clauses. That's why it is compound complex sentence. Complex sentence should have one independent clause, whereas compound complex sentences consists of at least two independent clauses. We will understand it like this. Although our team feared the opposition, they played exceptionally well and they almost won the game. I like accounting, but my brother likes biology because he wants to be a doctor. Although the teacher had a conversation with the student's parents, he didn't improve his behavior in class, so she sent him to the headmistress, who was very rude. Every sentence has two independent clauses. In the first sentence, although our team feared the opposition, is a dependent clause. They played exceptionally well, independent clause number 1, and they almost won the game, independent clause number 2. Similarly, the second sentence also has two independent clauses. Now we see the third one, that is C. Although the teacher had a conversation with the student's parent. It is adverb clause of reason because it is starting with although. He didn't improve his behavior in class is an independent clause. It is giving a complete meaning to the sentence. Now, so she sent him to the headmistress is again an independent clause. Who was very rude. It's an adjective clause qualifying the noun headmistress. Who was very rude. किसके बारे में बात हो रही है? It's about the headmistress. So here the headmistress is the noun. Now moving forward to our first exercise, exercise A. Underline the independent clause once and underline the dependent clause twice. Then write S for simple, C for compound, CX for complex, and CC for compound complex sentences. Try to do this exercise by yourself. This is a worksheet, and in our next segment, I will explain you and solve this exercise for you. If you have any doubt or query, you may comment in the comment section, and I will further clarify your doubts in the next video. Thank you.